thank you for joining us today. And thank you for those of you out on LinkedIn and Facebook who are joining us. And this is the virtual events group. And once a month, we get together to just learn something new. And today we are like excess of riches here. So we asked two of our favorite guests to speak at our events all the time, Juliana Braste and Jefferson Graham, who are both extraordinary photographers and videographers, to come and share what they do on the road so that when you go out for this summer, you are prepared for whatever, the wedding, the graduation, the beautiful summer trip that you're going to take, or the meetings and events. So what we're going to do is we're going to divide the day up into three parts. We're going to talk about gear. We're going to talk about the common mistakes that people make when they're shooting anything. And then we're going to talk a little bit about post-production. And feel free to jump in with questions. You can put them in the chat room. But the first thing that I want to do is introduce you to our fantastic guests. And we've worked with them so much now. I never get tired of listening to them, and I don't think you will either. So I'm going to take myself. No, we're going to start with you. You guys can't go to sleep yet. We're going to do a little quiz to see what are your photo habits like. And to do this, we're going to use Mentimeter. So we're going to put our first slide up on the Mentimeter board. And to do this, can either type in the code you see at the top of your screen, or you can take a picture with your phone of the QR code. And Carrie, you are on the last question, not the first question. So back you go. There you go. First question. What is on tap for your summer photos? What are you going to shoot most of this summer? You're allowed one answer. So whenever you're ready, chime in and we'll see what. And we have a traveling group for sure. And then we have, somebody other is going to tell us, and the trade show. We're pretty evenly divided, and not much on the trade shows. We have really exciting lives here. Well, that's good. Trade shows are fun to shoot, and we'll definitely do some tips on how to shoot better trade shows. So let's move to question 2. So what do you use when you snap your photos? You've got the choices. You've got your mobile, you've got your DSLR, you've got your other weird stuff, or your combination of things. And if you just joined us, you can just take a photo of the QR code with your camera, point your QR code, or you can type in the code and join us on Mentimeters. So we see a combination, and we see some mobile phone users. We're going to talk about both, and then we're going to ask somebody to talk about their action cam or whatever it is that they're using. Maybe they're metas. We were just talking about that before the show. Let's go to question 3. What's your favorite thing to take photos of this summer? Because the things you take photos of all have different tips and tricks. So we've got the foodies, and we've got the sightseeing, and we've got the landscapes. We don't have many portrait photographers here. But it's I know Jeff does a lot of portrait photography also, so we'll address some of that. And we'll address all of the above when we do our tips and common mistakes. Moving on to our next Mentimeter. This is the one that how frequently do you take a photo? Are you take a photo of everything that you see? Do you take 1 or 2 photos a week, or you take photos occasionally? And you're probably all somewhere in the middle. So we have a lot of taking photos of everything that you see. Yes, it is a visual, photo forward, video forward life that we're living. And that is really one of the big changes that we're seeing in all our work with Virtual Events Group. It is all about video first and photo first. Next, and our final slide is so now you've taken your photos, you've been outdoors, you've been to weddings. What do you do with them? And the one that I really wanted to see here and didn't have room for was I just lose them. I never see them again. But it's keep them on my device, upload them to social media, back them up to the cloud, print or scan them. Ooh, we have some printers. That's good. And we've got a lot of cloud backups and our social media crowd. So we're pretty evenly divided on what we do with those photos. And there is our Mentimeter test. So we're going to take Mentimeter off and go back to our PowerPoint. And now I'm going to introduce you to Jefferson. No, let's see. I'm going to do Jules first. It's a ladies first thing. Juliana Braste, run- the host, the person behind Traveling Jules, and she's going to give you a little background on what she does, and so you can put this in context. That was fun. Thanks.
Thanks, Robin. Ladies first. I love it. This is ladies' night. It's great to meet everyone. Thanks for joining. Yeah, I'm Jules. I'm a travel filmmaker. I have been working in the business forever, doing everything, one woman show, produce, shoot, write, edit, and host. And I absolutely love capturing content. Like it's just hard to run anywhere without having one or two or three or four cameras by my side. So it's really strange. I was at a wedding recently and a friend of mine was, they were like, no photos. And I was like, no. It was the weirdest feeling. But yes, I travel, I tell stories. I get a chance to see the world and bring my camera along and help other people experience adventures and things that they might want to do. So I brought along a little video that I thought might be fun to show you.
Yeah, she has the
And
life we all want. So let's get that.
I'm like, do you want to see my video? Okay, let me show you. Oops, hold on one second. Let's see. There we go. Well, okay, okay, there we go. I think we're sharing now. Yeah. No? Yes. Oh. Screen sharing has failed to start. Okay, Zoom doesn't like me. You don't have to see my video.
Try it one more time. Let's see. Screen share.
Screen sharing has failed to start. That's okay. We're all on our computers. I can put my link in the chat if you want to watch some more adventures. But
Just tell
anyway,
us tell us the last place you were.
I just got back from Europe. I was in Europe last week with my mom actually on a really cool Viking cruise, which we got to see all these cute little German villages from the river, just real small towns. Some of them didn't even have more than one hotel in them. So it was a nice way to travel, something different.
On the Danube?
The Rhine and the
Right.
Main. So we got to see two rivers.
And they let you in and out of the country. This is all good. Um, so I know you're going to tell us some of the craziest things that have happened to you, but you did go to Antarctica, right?
Yes, I have been to seven continents and not every state yet. So that might be my next mission. We'll see. But yeah, last year around this time, I got to go to Antarctica and wow, just totally recommend it because you really realize the urgency that, the world is changing and what a special place it is to be somewhere where there are no hotels and, commercialized things. It's really nature. And I loved just being a camera woman and a photographer and just being able to capture cool icebergs and penguins, getting to see whales up close. And I did a lot of video blogging. So yeah, everywhere I go, I want to have souvenirs in the form of photos and pictures, videos,
Yeah.
all of the above.
And the thing is, she always looks so put together on these trips. Like, just like really. And I hope, where can we find the trailer so we can
It's
watch it?
it's seriously lights camera action because I'm always carrying like the heaviest backpack and have like the most cameras and equipment in my arms. And then I like shove it all on the ground under the tripod and then I like just look natural and then back to being a workhorse. Um, but yes, I would say follow me on Instagram at Traveling Jules. and it's Jules. And you'll see, like, today I posted a video about horseback riding on the beach in Texas. So I just like to make little video blogs, a lot of social media.
Okay, so hold that thought. And now we're going to introduce you to Jefferson. Um, Jefferson Graham, oh God, he's a multi-talented guy, but he's here to talk to you about what he does with his photo walks, which you can find on the Scripps Network, and you can see him standing there in the middle of the road. Um, and and go on, Jefferson. Let us tell us about
Okay.
what you do. It's quite different.
Okay. Continents I haven't counted. States I have filmed in 22. I have filmed in 7 countries. I was last on Route 66, historic Route 66, which I drove from Chicago to LA. Hello, Mina, because Mina's here today, and she helped me out on my Chicago episode. I have a series that runs on Scripps News every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. It's called Photo Walks TV. It's a half-hour travel TV show. The goal of the show is to bring people to the world's most photo is to bring people to the greatest places to photograph all over the world, to take them on a virtual photo walk and to offer them some tips on how to get great photos on their phone. I shoot the entire episode. Every show is done on a smartphone because that's what I think the people at home are watching. I think that's what the people today are using because I saw that in the stat there. I do
Yes.
augment it with some footage from a drone, from a GoPro, from an Insta360, from the Meta Ray-Ban glasses. We'll talk about all that in the gear section. I'm a former USA Today columnist, video maker, podcaster, photographer. I sort of did it all. I was there for 3 decades. And I had a series called Talking Tech, and I was the producer and host of that show. And I've been a photographer since I was a teenager, growing up in the Upper West Side on 86th Street, just down the way from Robin.
That's right. Except that's not where I am now. Um, but no, it's funny because you remember the days of journalism when you wrote and you wrote, and then all of a sudden you had to record and record. Like we flipped. You
Well, I
had
wanted to record, so I do remember the day. Thank you very much for bothering me. Sorry about that. Let's turn that guy off. Um, I started on a typewriter and then moved to computers. And interesting story, because I know Robin will get a kick out of this. In 2006, I proposed an idea for an audio podcast to the people at USA Today because Ed Begg, who was my counterpart in New York, both of us
yes.
covered technology, on our weekly meetings, we would argue and argue and argue, and they would all laugh and say, "You guys are so funny. You guys should do a podcast." It's great. Let's do it. I'm in LA. He's in New Jersey. And we do this podcast. We do 3 versions of it. We give it to them, and they go, "Well, audio is nice, but we really want a video podcast."
Yep.
And I said, "But Ed is in New Jersey, and I'm in LA." And they said, "You'll figure out a way to do it." So Ed would tape into a camcorder his answers while we were on the phone. And I would tape mine, and then I would merge them together in the video editing program. And so I have been editing video every day since 2006 and happy to do it. And here we are later.
And let me guess, USA Today did not give you any more money for producing and all these other media, which
Not, yeah, not only that, did they
yeah.
buy me any gear? No.
It's kind of amazing. I do because I was editor of PC Magazine then, and I remember, okay, guys, well, thank you for writing that article. Now can you say it? And then now can you film it? And we had no more money to pay them, and it was just labor of love. So
Well, let
that's
me let me say that I would have paid them to do what I did because I loved every minute of it. I loved going out and
yeah.
doing this weekly video show that then morphed into a twice-a-week show. They gave me a celebrity edition. I'm looking at the celebrities on the wall right now: Pierce Brosnan, Gabriel Iglesias, Ricky Gervais, Zendaya, JB Smoove, Lewis Black, Jason Mraz, Bob Saget. We had some great guests. So, and I wouldn't have been able to do it had I not taken on the extracurricular activity.
Yeah, yeah, but
And I
it's
wouldn't be here today doing photo walks had it not been for USA Today, right? And the training I got there.
yep. But definitely the movement in media and also on my Facebook pages is I've never met a media I didn't love, but knowing the right tools for the right job and loving the message and how you present it for each medium is really become more important than ever before, and especially with social media. So let's talk gear. Unless anybody out there want to chime in, thoughts, questions to these two before we grill them on their gear. So we grill. So this is going to be the what's in your bag. Juliana, your bag weighs more than you do when you carry it. I don't know how you carry it around. So tell us what you typically take out with you and some of your favorite things that everybody should think about.
And it depends which bag are we talking about, because I'm really bad at saying like this is the one bag that I'm always carrying, because there's always like there's a nuance like, but then, it's based on kind of what am I doing that day? Am I going to a conference or am I going out snowboarding? Or am I going to do 9 things in the same day, starting with breakfast, then doing ATV ride, and then going to, like they layer on so many things in a travel adventure day. My bag is quite, yeah, you're right. I'm actually downsizing. I often downsize, but I still want the high quality. Like my little pink bag is the one I carry around the most these days. And this is the new camera that I just got in my hands a few weeks ago. But yeah, the Canon PowerShot V1 is my new favorite little camera because it has all the best features of my big camera, but it's more pocketable and more handheld. And I love some of the more advanced features. I mean, this is a point and shoot, so you can't change lenses. But what's really fun is that you can easily shoot in high quality like C-Log. So then it matches my other cameras. I like that I can still have my flip screen so I can easily do selfie mode. And it has, a audio jack, like, and a fan even. So just having all of the things that I've become like really comfortable with as a professional, but just in being able to just throw it in this little bag that no one even realizes that you're secretly like a very serious camera woman over here. Um, a couple other things I'll just point out because I know Jefferson has a lot of fun things too, but I almost always like to travel with a small tripod. And this little one, I mean, it may seem basic, like tripods have been around forever, but just having one that's carbon fiber is really lightweight and strong. And that for me, like every ounce that I can shed really makes the dream possible. Especially like I'm often alone. So if I can bring some tool like this and have complete control over the shot, I don't have to wait for someone that like I could trust or that I think knows what they're doing, who like might get a good shot with my camera or my phone. Like I just can't trust other people. So I like to have my own tripod so that I can set it up for myself. And then also what's nice is, I mean, I often have multiple cameras with me. And like it depends how many lenses because it depends what I'm shooting that day. But my R5C, by the way, I'm a Canon ambassador, so yes, you notice the theme here. But what I like is that all of my gear can play with each other, and then when I'm editing it, it all matches. It's also high quality. And so this is my newest gear because it's the R5C, but also this is a new lens that's lightweight. It's a 20, this one's a 16 to 28 f2.8, and it's about a pound less than the professional series lens that exists and about $1,000 cheaper. And so I was like, wow, a pound less? I'm ding ding, I will take that one. So anyway, so yeah, this is what I'm carrying around for my most simple, like I need to capture great travel videos because this R5C has this dial at the top. You probably can't see that with the depth of field on my camera here. It won't focus. There you go. So the photo and video, there's literally 2 cameras in this one body. So when you switch it to photo mode, it looks just like a photo camera, like a lot of the photographers are used to with the with the menu, and then you flip it to video mode, and now it looks completely different. So, I mean, I think this to me is sort of the thing that I always have in my hands, and it's got, you know, all like 8K, it shoots 8K, shoots slow-mo, shoots photos, shoots videos. I've pre-programmed some of the buttons to do slow-mo so in a quick moment. I've also pre-programmed the menu to switch from regular horizontal to vertical so that I can see and imagine my social media content and then switch back and go back to TV mode and then back to social media content. So for me, my tools have to be super versatile. So I'll put a pause there because those are sort of the main ingredients of what I'm working with here. And then it just grows and grows from there.
I love it. I love it. And I love the landscape and put the horizontal and vertical modes have become really important. So Jeff, you going to take the counterpoint on this one, talk about what you take with you?
Yeah. So I travel with a backpack and or just stuff in my pocket. I first of all, you mentioned types of photography, weddings, events, editorial. I do it all. So I also do that stuff. And when I do that, then I use a Sony A7 IV, which would be comparable to Jules's Canons. And I use the 16 to 35 and the 24 to 70 and the 7200 millimeter lens, which is my favorite. But for the show, which is on Scripps News and on YouTube, I said, hey, gang, I film every episode on an iPhone. Well, once I said that, I better stick to it, right? So I do every episode on a phone. And I travel with 2 or 3 phones because when you're out shooting mobile photography and on vacation and you're traveling, your phone will be dead by 11 or 12 o'clock. There's just no two ways around it. And I can get into batteries and stuff like that, which I will. But I like to have extra charged cameras, as in phones, just in case as backups, as secondary angles. Maybe the other camera broke. At least it hasn't happened to me, but just in case. So I travel with multiple ones of those, and then my most important gear. These are the 2 things that everybody watching needs to have in their luggage. Okay, we're going to start with the power bank. And let me get this guy off of here because
That was the question I was going to ask you. Where do you put this stuff?
well, it's in my backpack or it's in my pocket. But the power bank is the most important thing because it snaps onto the back of your phone and see the little circle come up? It's now giving me an instant charge. This is a $30 product. I have multiples of these, and everybody should have one. If you have Android, get a MagSafe case, and then this will fit on the case. If you have an iPhone, it just goes right on the back. And don't forget, folks, that you have to charge these babies up every night as well. And there's a built-in cable right there. So this one is from a company you've never heard of called Paduro. I have ones from Anker as well. They've gotten so much better. When they started off, they looked like this. And what do you do with it? Where do you put it? And a cable would go in there. And then here's another one that I got recently from Anker. What do you do with it? How do you hold it? So I love the MagSafes. The second thing is Jules and I have this in common. We've been in a lot of hotel rooms. We've been in a lot of motel rooms, not together, but we've been in a lot of rooms. And we know,
TMI.
we know that it's really hard to find a place to plug stuff in. Some hotels are great. Some hotels are not. You know, the given is that by the coffee machine, you usually find an extra plug. So I always bring one of these. It's a 65 watter from Ugreen. It's a 65 watt fast charger, and it has 2 slots for USB-C and 1 for USB-A. USB-C is the new cable that we're all using, and it charges your phone much faster. Plus, this charges much faster. So if you're a couple, you get one of these, and now both of you can be charging up your phones in the hotel room. And if you're a family, you get 2 of them. those are my two most important go-tos. And then there is my beloved selfie stick. I never go anywhere without my selfie stick. I shoot everything on the selfie stick. We can get into gimbals. Gimbals are an accessory for smartphones. They're about $150. I don't think they really do anything. They look good. They're a pain in the butt to set up. They kind of fit awkwardly in your pocket. I can get just as good handheld shots for video with my selfie stick. And then we can get into lighting. We can get into other stuff, but that's my quick little overview.
So I want to ask both of you, and I'm sure everybody has a million questions and ideas. First of all, Carrie, who makes our cube? I'm sitting here with my husband. We need a whole cube when we go to hotels. Like it's got like 6 USBs and two
Yeah.
extra outlets. It's pretty great, and it's not that heavy. But where do you, so you're shooting, store it to the cloud, store at the end of the day, store on a card. What do you do with all this stuff?
Well, both of us are going to have different answers. So, Jules, you go first.
Well, I don't mean to diss phones, except that that is one of the major reasons why I don't like to shoot with my phone is because my phone is full and then it gets doubled into the cloud and then suddenly I'm paying all this money for like storage for a project that I needed like for one day and now it's like part of my life. It's like, it's like a tattoo. Not really. But for me, as it may seem classic, but just having the memory card, having like multiples, just having something that's not my phone, I can use my phone for maps and I can use it for GPS and just like emails. And then I like to just keep my camera as my camera. So for me, it's like a creative separation and like having the separate batteries. Just really, my workflow works better when my life, my emails and things are not attached. So I think I'm answering your question, but now already I forgot what it was exactly.
It's
Yeah,
about
storage.
workflow
Yeah,
for
yeah.
storage.
But then I don't want to like just like, oh good, this one's not plugged in. I was gonna say, but then I have like a lot of these, which is really sad because this is 4 TB SSD. This is a SanDisk. This is the new Creator series line actually. And I love how lightweight and little and how much it fits, but still like the amount of footage that I'm shooting and the amount of projects, I fill these up really quickly. And I like to have two of them because I never trust one because I mean, SSD is so much more safe and reliable than any media has ever been, but I always like to have the two just because in case one of your hard drives goes missing or if it falls out, who knows what could happen to it. You want to have a second one. And there's a software that I discovered called Carbon Copy Cloner, which has saved me so much time because you basically organize it like here's hard drive 1, here's hard drive 2. Hey, Carbon Copy Cloner, you mirror them for me. Thanks. I'm gonna go eat dinner. So that has saved me effort of being like, did I get that? Did I get that? Did I get that? Did I get that?
So I think we're going to start seeing these devices with AI. We saw one at NAB that was in the Ugreen, so that you can say, "Where was that picture of a dog?" And just
Oh, that is nice. Yes.
that's what I want to say because I'm
Yeah.
really just
They also make these for phones though. So Jefferson, you could get one that goes directly from your phone into one of these. The magnets.
Yours will go into a phone right now.
It can
So,
magnet. But
yeah, right.
the SanDisk makes one that magnets, just like the battery you were showing me.
Okay. Well, first of all, AI, I've been hearing about asking it to find you pictures. I've been hearing this for 5 years. I've yet to find it to work. So if it works, I would be one happy person because I spend half my day looking for photos. SanDisk is part of the Western Digital Corporation, which has had a really poor record on SSD drives that stopped working, that just and there's been a lot of press about them, so I do not use them. I use the ones by Samsung, the T7 series, which now are selling for like $150 to $200 for 4 TB. So I bring multiples of them with me on the road. And so I'm with Jules and I'm backing up all night and all day. It's a real problem though in a hotel room. As far as getting stuff to the cloud, because once they figure out that you're backing up footage, they will throttle you. And it's happened to me over and over
Really?
and over again. Yeah. So I have a love-hate relationship with iCloud. I hate it terribly, but I also love it. So let me explain why. iCloud is the mirroring service. Oh, let me back up one other thing. I use the phone as a dedicated camera. So no GPS, no email. It's just a dedicated camera. So well, just that said. So iCloud is a service that mirrors your phone and puts your photos that are on your phone, on your computer, on your iPad, on your multiple phones. It appears everywhere, and that's great. It's really wonderful. But if you get a nag message saying that you've run out of room and you delete it off your phone, it gets deleted in iCloud at the same time. So that's why I hate it. Why I love it is that now you have all your media is on the phone and you're on a shoot and you're at Zion National Park and you're in Portugal and you're here and you're there and you're wherever. And all your photos are being backed up to iCloud, whether you're throttled in the room, whether you're using cellular service. So if you're domestically going around places, everything is being backed up. And so on my recent Route 66 trip, I found it invaluable because everything was going there. And then my wife's phone, I put iCloud on there, and now all of her pictures are on her phone. One place they're not getting mixed up with mine, which they tend to do because like we have the Amazon account. Amazon Photos, well, her stuff goes to my Amazon. Sorry, but that's how because they'll give it one person or the other because we're getting Prime. And if you're a Prime member, it's unlimited photo backup with Amazon Photos, which is great, except that our pictures are getting merged and they don't put video in there.
No,
They'll
yeah.
only put photos. So
Everybody forgets this, but this has now turned into a How We Saved Our Marriage episode.
yeah.
Right. Amazon,
So
yeah.
yeah.
Amazon, if you're a Prime member, you've got storage.
Yeah. So Ruth has her phone, her iCloud, all of her photos, all her videos, they're right there. And now the snag is that when we're running out of room, and that's happening, I think this 1 TB is up to 900 right now. So I'm going to have to, and all the pictures are going to go away. Luckily, I backed them up in multiple places, but they're going. And so you're not going to be able to see them on your phone, which anymore. So that's my wrap.
So you guys, so first of all, stop questions, thoughts, some other product somebody falls in love with.
And while you're waiting for that, the Android version is Google Photos, and you can do all the similar things. But the snag on that one is you're paying $10 a month, and you're run out of room, and now you can't read your email anymore, and you can't respond to your email, and your Google because it takes Google Photos and puts it together with Google Drive and Gmail, and that is a pain in the butt.
It is a pain. Yes, as a Google Photos person, and yeah, and it takes any random photo. I mean, it's like sort of, I don't know where it gets like my family shares a lot of stuff. Takes my stuff from WhatsApp I find in Google Photos. It's kind of a mess. So anybody think about good tips that you might have there. So we talked about, let me see if I can do this. We talked about gear, and now we're going to talk about, we're now going to talk about the fact that my PowerPoint went on auto. We're going to talk about the common mistakes that people make when they are shooting both video and photos. And so, Jefferson, you want to start us off? This is a man's
Sure.
time. Yeah.
Sure. Why not? Biggest mistake that everybody makes when taking pictures outside is they're not paying attention to the trees. And there's tree branches growing out of people's heads. I'd say that's the #1 photo mistake. And you really need to be careful when you're outside on what's coming out of people's heads. Now, sure, you can do a crop, you could use AI to get rid of the trees, but it's a simple thing. And then the other problem is that sometimes people will take pictures down here when they should be up here, and they're looking up at you, and no, they're looking up at you, and you look like Frankenstein. We tend to be more flattering when we're shooting below as opposed to shooting above. Those are two of my great mistakes. And Jules, what do you say?
Oh my gosh. Well, when we were talking about the storage, I was thinking of like that's an obvious mistake in some way because overshooting, if you take too many pictures and if you don't have any clear idea of what you're making or where it's going, it becomes like you get struggle, you get like you get strangled because you ran out of space. But on the other hand, I also know a handful of people in my life who I love very much who don't take any pictures. So I feel like that's a major no-no too. Is like trying to figure out where is the right place to have the right quantity of photos. But for me personally, I am a huge believer in this fancy technology called an intervalometer, which takes pictures for time lapses, like, and every second takes a picture. And it makes really cool, like, when the clouds are moving, it looks really cool when buildings are still and the clouds are moving. It makes movie like photos into movies. But I have been using the intervalometer feature that has been built inside many of my cameras to take selfies. And for me to have the right photo it's really important to have a photo that shows what you wanted to communicate. And I feel like so often when I just have one photo or three photos that like a random stranger like is holding my camera and taking a photo of me in front of, the Grand Canyon or whatever, and I get it back and I'm like, what? I get so cranky that it's not what I want because yeah, there is a random tree or there's some person, being, what are they, photo bombing you? Or, you just don't know what you're going to get. So I would rather have like multiple, so that you can have choices for selecting the one that's a good fit, especially when you have multiple people in a photo. I do this a lot for holidays and for birthdays. I always have my tripod ready with the camera on the intervalometer mode, and I hit the button and I'm like, okay, and we all stand there and we get cute together. And then sure enough, one person is never smiling, and when everyone else is smiling, there's that one person. So if you're using the tripod, I find that's another way to like you can Photoshop their face when in one of the frames when they were smiling, and then match that with another photo where everyone else is smiling. So, yes, so it's a mistake and also a benefit to shoot a lot. So that can be a heartbreak, and it can be a success.
So
I
are we doing true confessions about yeah, I never get people's feet in the photos. And my husband's standing not too far from me and he will say that. And it's just something about
Oh, do you accidentally like cut off at the ankle and like you just missed the foot? Ah,
Every trip I come back and say, why didn't I get that shot? Why didn't I get that shot? I didn't shoot enough. I didn't shoot enough. And I shoot a lot. And I don't think there's a problem with overshooting. I think there's a problem with a mindset that says, if I just take 200 photos, one of them is going to be good without thinking about what you're doing. So there's
yes, if
the
you just
insurance
shoot
theory.
without thought, that's where you get into trouble. If you don't have so one mistake too would be when you show up to a scene and you literally start photo and videoing immediately, and you haven't actually thought about like what else is going on. Like, is actually the guy doing a whirling dervish dance in front of you, like, is that actually the coolest thing? Or is it the reaction of other people being mesmerized, being confused, being like, maybe there's something else going on? So before you start shooting, you should observe what's going on and make a decision. Like Jeff said, what am I doing here? What is the focus? And then you can shoot away.
Yeah, I always say do it all, get the whirling dervish guy, get the reaction, get the buildings, get the left, right, top, bottom, get every angle possible, because you never know. You may want it
Yeah,
afterwards.
but sometimes I think we all look through our cameras and we don't even know we're in life. We just experience it only through our cameras, and that's a mistake, I think. I like to have the content captured, but you also need to like look up from the camera and enjoy the real moment, you know? Haven't you seen people do that when it's someone's wedding or something and they're only looking at their phone, which is capturing the
Well,
moment, and you're like,
I see them at the wedding looking at their phone. I don't see them taking pictures. I see them doing social media and other things. That's been my experience.
true,
and
they're doing other
and
stuff.
parents have it with their kids. They've never really seen
Yeah,
their
but
kid.
I do see a lot of situations where they just hold up their phone at something. They don't know what they're taking, and it drives me crazy because you guys that like vertical, they're just doing vertical of an amazing horizontal shot, and I don't ever understand why they're cutting off 60% of the image.
Well, Thiago, do you want to take yourself off mute? Am I putting you on the spot? by asking you. You wrote in the chat window about people forgetting the backgrounds.
No,
Talk
my
to
friend,
us.
you never put me on the spot. Yeah, no, I am. I shot for many networks, and I love you guys. I love your spirit, and I love what you guys are talking about. It's amazing. I haven't had this conversation in like 2 years because I work freelance now and stuff, and so it's very exciting to be here. But yeah, no, I think a lot of people are easily forget about the background when they grab the phone, they see what's on the screen, and they're just focused on that person right in front of them. And the background is so important to what's happening in the foreground and the whole environment that you're taking a picture of or you're filming. And I just love what you guys are talking about. So,
And you're a Pixel Pro guy, right? You're the
no,
Pixel
I'm
Pro
not. I
guy?
hate this phone. I had gotten it for free because my other phone broke. So it is what it is.
You got a great webcam. You got a,
Yeah.
we haven't even talked about webcams, right? I
Oh,
mean, you have a good,
so to feed Julianne, it's a Cine 100 Mark II. Love this as a web camera. Canon Cine 100.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna look at it.
good to know. All right, Canon's getting a lot of love today.
My
Thank,
webcam is my Sony A7 IV of all things. It's
Oh, the
probably
C100.
it's probably overkill, but it streams really well and very quick. So
yeah, I've
I
got a
used to
Sony.
have a C100. It was like real. I mean, everything they keep making in that zone of like kind of a DSLR, but now it's a cinema camera. It's like handheld, lightweight, love it. And for this purpose, for webcam, very cool.
Yeah, makes the difference.
Yeah.
Um, okay, other common mistakes. Clearly lighting, like your environmental lighting could be
most people take pictures of human beings in the direct sunlight and they look terrible.
guilty.
They take the pictures between 1 and 4 in the afternoon, and the sun beats down on their face, and they have giant shadows under their eyes. They have terrible shadows under their chin, and all they had to do is turn the other way, go into the shade, and they'll look very flattering. That's another one of my favorite mistakes. Jules?
Favorite mistake. That one's a good one, and especially when we were talking about the background with, is it Tiago or Thiago? Tiago. The background is sometimes what you're like, oh my gosh, we should take a picture in front of this cool background, but like your face will look bad because your face is like, not in the right light, but the back, sometimes lighting is not being considered when you're just thinking through like what you want to be in front of. I think that happens the most with like sunsets and stuff because you want to be in front of the
Right.
sunset, but sometimes it doesn't make you look the
I
cutest.
watch people do this because I live in a beach community. I watch them every night standing in front of a sunset as silhouettes, so they don't understand. They don't get it. But speaking of lighting, I brought a few little doodads here. Uh, this thing is called the Nan light, and it's going to light up eventually. Come on, turn yourself on. Yeah, there we
Yeah.
go. It looks like a saber sword, right? I took this with me to Chicago, and now most people that are doing mobile photography are not going to do that, but it sure helped. I did some magic hour shots with this thing, where I was on camera, and that was really cool. Then I recently got this. I
And
picked
you can
this.
hold that vertically or horizontally. Is that how that goes? Yep. Okay.
I have a cold shoe thing here, so I stuck it on my cage. I I got this at NAB. Okay, what is it? It's a light. Can you believe it? It's a light. Hopefully I'll be able to turn it
You have
on.
to inflate it.
But it folds up. It folds up. You gonna turn on?
It
Give me
did.
some light. There we go.
No, it's really on. Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, it folds up. You can put it in your pocket and you have a light. And it
Mhm.
sells for like $40. What it
Wait, is
is.
that like glow stick material? Is it like
Yeah,
what?
that's what it
Yeah.
is. It's a light strip in a softbox that you could put in your pocket. You could attach it to a tripod. You could throw it on top of your phone. Never leave home without it, kids.
So does it have a shelf life where it really goes on forever? Like those
I
glow.
don't know.
Yeah.
Well, it
You'll find
recharges.
out.
It recharges with USB-C. It's another thing to charge up in your hotel room.
Mhm.
That is pretty cool. It's pretty. I just bought my nephew graduated and he's a filmmaker and I bought him one of the smoke detectors from smoke makers from NAB because it just looks so cool. Everybody was using it to make
Yeah.
that if great effects, smoky effects on their
Put
photos.
put that in your pocket and get great graduation photos this summer, right?
Absolutely. Romantic wedding photos, great award shots at events. Yeah. Um, okay. So with
Oh,
that,
you mentioned earlier events photography, what to do. Have a flash. Have a flash. The lighting at events is terrible.
terrible.
The lighting on the trade show floor,
Yeah,
horrendous.
indoor lighting is so ugly sometimes. Just because it's like so far away from you and it's so
Yeah.
oh, it's so
Jules
grainy.
has an advantage. She's got a Canon. She could throw the flash right on top. I can't, I don't know. I know of no flash except actually, I'm sorry. There's one company that makes $1,000 flash, but bring a light with you in your pocket or have a friend put the flashlight on with the other phone.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
that's helpful.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a cool idea.
Multi-flash.
Yeah.
One last mistake I was just thinking about was that I would say you cannot shoot wide enough sometimes for social media because when you want to like reframe it this way and then this way, horizontal, vertical, and I was thinking about that with lighting because that can be tricky because sometimes it looks good one way and then you turn your camera and now like, everything it changes. So anyway, I often back up a little more for social media, just so that I can get a good uh, image or video that I could crop into, so I have more flexibility. Because once you're cropped in, you can't really crop back out, except unless you use like Photoshop or Lightroom, where there's like generative extend, where it's like there. It's very cool how you can build shoes and feet that didn't exist in your photo before, but it's
Different shoes though.
yeah,
Different
they're not
shoes.
exactly your feet, so I always get weird about using that.
Because I tried that. I tried that on a shot and yeah, it was a little weird.
If it's like the sky, I'm fine. Like, fine, add more blue sky and like a little more tree branch. But if it's like your body parts, like your knees down, I don't want to generate that. So I'd rather just like back up.
Let me give you a quick little video mistake because those of us who make online videos, that would be Jules, that would be myself, we are using microphones and we want to know that we have audio before we do an interview, before we do a stand-up or something like that. On Jules's camera, she has audio meters. On the iPhone native camera app, there are no audio meters. Zip. And you hope that your microphone is in there. Anyway, I use the Blackmagic app. It's a free app, Blackmagic Camera. They have audio meters, and it really helps me to know ahead of time that I indeed have audio.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that's
a
a big
really,
mistake when you intend to have audio and like it doesn't work. Because it's an easy mistake to make. When you're professional and you have headphones on, you're sure you can hear it. But I think these days with like social media and like the speed at which we're running around and we're not always wearing headphones like we
yeah.
used to. So the
Well,
vision,
you can't do a stand-up and wear headphones at the same time,
yeah,
right?
no, that would
Yeah.
look weird. It would look weird.
No, and then the other problem you have is like with the Rode mics and stuff, you give it to somebody and they're talking like this, and you've lost every other word that they've said. So you have to be careful how you mic them up.
Well, I
Yeah.
think they're better than they used to be. I used to find that if I went like that, my voice would definitely not stick with me. But I think they're better now.
Now, is it a mistake to put your microphone where you can see it? Just kidding. It's so much the trend these days to like show that little DJI mic there, and like so many people are like, "Oh, that's so ugly." So, anyway, I think that's funny.
I've worn them both ways, that I can put them right under my shirt as well.
Yeah. It's really a matter of style.
It's a
If you
luck.
want
It's
it to
jewelry.
yeah, if you want it to be like on trend.
Maybe one day they'll have a microphone with color, like a pink microphone. What do you think, Jules? Wouldn't that
Well,
be
I mean, I have
something?
seen like an LCD kind of microphone badge that you can like put your own logo in there. Um, But I don't know. I like to have it hidden. I don't want people to know what I'm doing.
Okay.
You are such a control freak. Me, I just give my camera to anybody. Say, will you take my photo? Because it's going to be better than what I do. And I think I will just, here, take my phone. Um, but so we're going to move into our final section, and that's the magic that happens once the photo or the video's taken, and this has become, I think, just in the last 12 months, like a whole new ball game with AI enabled things and 72 effects that you can apply to any given photo. And I tend to, my biggest mistake there is I go ransom note, like I will add every effect possible. But why don't you guys share some of your post-production tips for um, how to make those photos look better after they happen?
Okay, well, I have a long rap, so Jules, why don't you start?
Why don't you do like 1/3 of it?
Okay. So for me, I edit on the phone using the native Apple app, and then I go to Lightroom, the Adobe Lightroom, which is actually free. There's extra tools that you can pay for, and I use the Radiant Digital Imaging app, which is fantastic. But when I really want to see the pictures, I need to see them on my computer, and I import everything in the computer, and then I push them through Lightroom, Adobe Lightroom, which I pay the monthly charge, which is obscene and ridiculous, but there's all sorts of different plans. And unfortunately, I have the top of the line plan. But I put everything through Lightroom, and I do the first edit in Lightroom, and I'll do some adjustments in Photoshop, and then when I want to show the pictures off, they usually go through Radiant Digital Imaging as well. Um, no picture goes on social media before being touched up a little bit, whether that's boosting the blacks, boosting some of the color, boosting the exposure, little things like that. Uh, all pictures can be improved. I have yet to hear, Robin, of any AI tools that could save me any time that really work. And when you find out about them, please let me know, because I could use the help. I have 1,500 pictures that I shot last Saturday that I need to go through in the next 2 days, and I could use all the help I could get.
Fascinating. No, but I see an AI waiting to be born. I mean, because it should be possible.
It should be possible, but it's all fantasy land right now.
Wow, that's a lot of photos. So I'm gonna just you spend as much time, more time editing your photos in the post-production than you did taking them by a factor of, I don't know.
Well, it depends on the photo. I mean, yeah, sure. You know, I shot over 2,500 miles, 8 states, 3 time zones. For photo walks, doing episodes of Route 66 in Illinois, Missouri, Texas, Oklahoma, yada 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 yada. I got a lot of stuff to go through, and that's not the 1,500 pictures from last Saturday. This is a whole nother bunch. Will I spend more time editing? Culling, I guess. Spend time culling and then choosing the ones I like. The secret of being a great photographer is showing your best work and not throwing everything out there.
I like that
Good
secret.
secret.
So
Good
you're saying
secret.
like just don't post something ugly because you're gonna get caught.
It
Caught
doesn't
with
help you. It doesn't help you in any way to put ugly pictures up, I don't think.
Yeah, editing. Edit.
Well, some people, no one's, I think, intends to put an ugly photo up, but they're like, dude, I gotta feed the beast. I gotta post something today. There's just like different, I like that quote. I'm just saying that it's interesting that some people have found that just frequency is more important than quality. I live on team quality, but I know that like a lot of people, especially businesses, they gotta keep it moving. They gotta keep the
That's
engine.
fine, but make it a worthwhile shot. If it's overexposed,
Absolutely.
if it's out of focus, if people look ugly in it or bad, don't show it. Show their best stuff. I mean, you take a lot of pictures.
Best
You're
support.
great. You're the
Best
queen of
support.
social media, but I'm sure you have some shots where you don't look great in them. I know I have
No.
shots that are terrible, and I try not to show them.
Right.
No.
I like that. Easy. I would say for me, I start similar. Like, I mean, for me, it's so important to have organization first because of the quantity of content. And a lot of us just, you need to have that habit of just dumping the memory cards and having it labeled a certain way. Like, I actually label my folders with the date 25/05/22 and then a written description. But, everyone has their system. But for me, like having every camera, every memory card like in its own folder and not letting human error go in there when you're like fishing out certain things and reorganizing it. I just like to leave it like in its original state and then go through the then I can begin the post process. But for me, like especially for video editing, I start with templates so that I can start, with all the folders ready, with all of the assets like the sound effects and even the timing on a timeline, like my little traveling jewels name pops down, and then the font is the same and it's in the same place on the screen every time. Having that template is really helpful to get started for video. And I'm using a lot of uh, my favorite. I really like this company called Film Impact, and they make cute little transitions for videos and photos that like instead of going to After Effects to like really get something fresh, like Robin, you were giggling about how you use every effect in the box, and I was like, this is the every effect that you wanted that you can put back into your system. And granted, you won't use them all, but sometimes you'll find a place and a reason why you need this effect.
What's it
Like
called, Jules?
it's called Film Impact. And
Okay.
specifically, like one of my favorite transitions is just like a soft push from left to right, like a little swipe. And again, my template already has a little swipe sound that I like. And then the swipe
Yeah.
has like a Bezier. So it's not like a boring like swipe. It's more of like a swipe. Like it has like a kind of a slow start, the swipe, and the slow end. So that little details like that with your effects and then having cool effects. Like one of the favorite ones is like where it kind of zooms and like whips at the same time. Like I forget what it's called, a zoom wipe. Um, yeah, that one is fun. And you can like pick
Yeah.
out where are you zooming into my eye or this globe, and it can like zoom into that thing or zoom out, zoom in, zoom out. Um, but yeah, those are some of I mean, and then with the Premiere Pro, for just to finish off the video part, would be I'm finding it very helpful to have every step of the process in Premiere Pro, because I don't need to go to other editing tools, and being able to like in the software it can read all the video and type out transcriptions for all the words that are said in every clip. So I've got the text, this transcript is written from the video that happened. And then you can go ahead and circle and delete all the ums, and you can delete all the gaps and delete all the times you said the word pizza or something. You can go through and like Google search stuff and delete the video. That's text to editing, and that is very time efficient. Um, and then from there, you can easily make captions within your edit. And so again, you don't have to wait to get to Instagram to like make captions. You can make them and time them how you want them and fix any spelling issues, and then export directly. Um, and just, I guess for photo, Lightroom, I'm just using a lot of just really being able to copy paste as well my effects. Like when Jefferson says he has 1500, I do too. And then I can edit one and then copy paste that effect to everything. And then at least I start a lot faster. And that's a shortcut. I just learned that like yesterday. I was like, why have I been doing the hard way? It's like,
Okay. I just have to say that my lighting is in very differing degrees. So copying and pasting one effect for 1,500 pictures would
no,
not
not for
work.
all, but if it's like one scene, like
Yeah,
one,
yeah. I've been doing that for years. Yeah.
but yeah, that's
Also on video editing, you can't edit video until you start organizing and putting everything into the right folder, knowing where everything is. So I'm with Jules on that.
Yeah. And if Adobe's price tags really disturb you, we've been using DaVinci Resolve, which has a free version
Right.
for that you can then buy the pro version, and it's quite good, and it's free,
Right.
and
Yeah. But
it's
yeah.
really
Well,
powerful.
the problem is I can't live without Photoshop and Lightroom. And so you sort of have to start there.
Yeah. So with that, I just want to, can everybody just put their hand up or something, or their hands up like this and say thank you to Jefferson and Jules for just being so gracious and generous with their time. Like there's nothing in this for them. I'm gonna
Just
just
the acclaim.
just that, yeah.
Yeah.
And remind you, if any of you are going to be in Orlando on June 12th, we will be down there. This is our next insane trick is to have a conversation between humanoid robots. And we're also going to talk about the future of retail down there. But we are right in the process of getting humanoids to talk to each other in the audience, which has been laughably funny. And in the end of June, June 25th, we're gonna get ready for a summer break. We invited David Adler to join us, and David was the founder of BizBash, has written books called Harnessing Serendipity, writes about gatherings, events, and convening. And David's going to join us on June 25th, and then we will take a bit of a summer break and see you in the fall. So for those of you who are joining us for the first time, thank you. For those of you who are stalwart, you come see us, we thank you just as well. Watching us in LinkedIn, we don't care. As long as you put this information to good use, we're happy. Right, Jules and Jefferson? We're
Right.
happy.
Okay, just a few quick little plugs. My newsletter, jeffersongraham.com. Please sign up. I'm going to have a whole thing on gear for the travel season for road tripping. That will actually be out tomorrow. So sign up, wave your hand, let me know you're there. And be sure to watch Photo Walks on Scripts and on YouTube. We have the Route 66 Part 1 premiering Sunday morning. And then they're doing a marathon for me. 14 episodes back to back on Monday. Pretty cool, huh?
That's
Oh
amazing.
my gosh, I love that. That's so cool. So how many hours can we watch you on Monday?
I think it's from 7 to 2.
Wow, that's a long time. That's a lot of
Yeah.
Okay, and
And it is very impressive how many he pumps out and how quickly he's like, I was just there. Here's my episode. I'm like, what?
I
Like
know.
back in the day, the TV shows would take 6 months a year to show you what happened. That, it's like really awesome.
So if
Thank
we're
you, Jules.
driving down Route 66, what's the one thing we can't miss?
Okay. I get that question so many times, and it's different in every state, but I'll give you the one. Okay. So Springfield, Missouri, we pull up to the Best Western, and I say hi. They give me my room key. I go to the room. I open the door, and my bed is a pink Cadillac. Okay, it's a pink Cadillac bed. They've given me the Elvis suite. Elvis mural, pink Cadillac bed, and a giant jacuzzi in the room. How are you going to top that?
I am Googling it right now and booking. No, I'm
And
just joking.
I'm trying to figure because Elvis spent so much time in Springfield, Missouri, must be the thing.
He
Oh my
slept there in
Oh,
1956 one night.
there you go. There you go.
But it was meeting the people. It was being out on the road. It was interacting with all those great people on the back roads on a road that time has forgotten. It hasn't been kind to, and these people are still there. It's the land that time forgot, and everybody should go out of their way to go visit there at least once in their life.
Great, not to be forgotten. Okay, I'm gonna hopefully walk in your footsteps, and I hope we all have as good a summer as Jules and Jeff are gonna have because they're gonna go to fabulous places, and we'll keep watching them. Thank you for being with us. See you next month. Bye.
Okay, bye bye.